Hello and welcome into Pat's Pick, episode 10. Been on a little bit of a cold streak the last few days, but I've had a lot of good thoughts that just have not played out on the ice, which that's kind of how the losing trend starts. Hopefully we can buck that trend tonight. Let's talk about last night's bets a little bit so I can show you what I played so you can make fun of me. I had Jake Onger under 27.5 saves. That didn't hit. I had Dallas winning under Onger saves and neither team to reach 5 goals. Over 5.5 in the Rangers game, and Carolina to win with Gensel over 2.5 shots, Aho point, and under 6.5 in the Stars game. Now, the Stars have been a troublesome team for me as of late. I bet on this game thinking that it was going to be a little tighter early, and it kind of was, and then the Stars again took another big lead, 4-0. And the Stars, when they go into a big lead, bet the other team spread because they are probably going to choke it, especially to a team like Colorado. And if they face a team like Vancouver or Edmonton in the next round, who also have offensive firepower, if Dallas can even get to the next round, because that's questionable at this point, they're a team that isn't holding on to these large leads. I feel like they do better in tight games than they do with a lead. They probably don't know how to play with a giant lead because they don't usually do that. Weird happenings there, kind of bucked the trend. Ottinger saves, I believe he had one more, so I missed this by one. Rangers over 5.5, Hurricanes over 5.5. I thought the Hurricanes were going to score a bit more. The game played out exactly how I thought it would. It's just the Carolina Hurricanes are a bit too selective and then end up taking bad shots because they run out of options, which is kind of one of the reasons Igor Shesterkin had a ton of saves, is because they're not putting on high quality shots on Igor, and Igor's not giving them anything. It's one of those things where Igor's playing on his head, and the Carolina Hurricanes are not taking the best opportunities. That being said, the two wins I had Shesterkin over saves. I placed that like the day before, but I knew I was betting that about 2 days before. I'm going to bet that for the next Rangers-Canes game because I think the Canes are going to come out again hot like I thought they would the other day. First to 5 shots on goal, Carolina. I'm going to be doing both of these bets again, these two over here, in the next game because I see the game playing out very similar in terms of pace of play and the team that's controlling the puck and shooting it more. I will not be betting on Carolina anymore because I just don't think they have it in them to score goals against Igor. I think mentally they're beaten, but I think they can still play good hockey and not score. Okay, let's talk about tonight, though. Only 4 picks. Kept it simple, stupid tonight. We got 2 games on the card. We got Florida and Boston going back to TD Garden. Now, this is a tough one to predict because you got 2 very different games in game 1 and 2. You get the change of location for who has home ice. And I kind of think it's a coin flip on what you're going to get because Boston is a zigzag team almost. When they play bad, they pop back up. When they play good, they pop down. It kind of feels like that's the way it goes. They rely on Jeremy Swayman. Swayman can only do so much. They didn't play good in front of him. Not many of the goals he let up the other day were his fault. Him getting pulled, I think, was more of a result of the team and not really a result of Jeremy Swayman's play. So I expect Swayman to go tonight. I haven't checked daily faceoff yet, to be honest. I assumed it's Swayman because it looked like Montgomery was telling him it's not his fault after game 2 when they pulled him. That being said, it doesn't really change my opinion if Ullmark or Swayman plays on the bet I have tonight because it doesn't really have much to do with how I think it's going to go, to be honest. And then in Edmonton, Vancouver, Edmonton choked game 1. They're going to look to bounce back in game 2. Vancouver is starting to prove a lot of people wrong here, and you can put me on that list. It's not really even because of disrespect for Vancouver. It's more so we haven't seen them in the playoffs in a long time. Kind of an unknown. Sometimes these teams pop up and play well. Sometimes they flame out. Vancouver looks legit in the playoffs. They played a very tough Predators team, played them tight, won a gritty series. They beat Edmonton in game 1. So there's a few ways you can play this. I only have one bet in the Bruins-Florida game, and as you can tell, I got the wrong chest. I'm a Bruins fan. I think the only logical play in this game is the over. Now, Florida has hit the over, or games with Florida as the away team in the playoffs typically hit the over. I believe 5 of the last 6 have. They're a good team offensively on the road. The Bruins usually score at home. Kind of lines up for a 4-2, 4-3 game. Don't really know which way that's going to go, though, because as I mentioned, I'm not really positive on which team is going to score more at the end of the day. Bobrovsky has been good in game 2, shaky in game 1. Swayman, very good in game 1, not terrible in game 2, but it shows you that even if you're a good goalie, you can get shelled. All it takes is a few bounces or your defender screening you, and it can go in. Yeah, kind of like I believe like goalies, no matter how good they are, they're going to have nights where they let up 3, 4, 5 goals. Like Igor in New York has played fantastic. One of these games in the playoffs, he's probably going to let up 4 or 5 goals, or 3, 4, or 5 goals, whatever you want to say. Just because that's hockey, law of averages, you can only stop so many pucks. Or maybe Igor's a mutant. We'll find out in the next episode of Pat's Picks. By the way, before I transition to the Oilers-Canucks game for my picks today, feel free to hit the like button. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Supports the channel. I'm not telling you to do my plays. It's more so for the betting conversation, more so than I'm right. I'm not telling you I'm right. I'm telling you this is what I'm doing. And I'd love to know what you're doing in the comments. I'd love to just have a betting discussion down below. I'd love to respond to your comments with my thoughts on your picks. You can respond about my picks and your thoughts on them in the comments. So please get to that if you are someone who wants to participate. Let's talk about Oilers Canucks. So as you know, I bet on Oilers and the over in game 1. And I am going back to the well and assuming that the Oilers are going to score, the Canucks are going to score, but at the end of the day, the Oilers are going to score more. I think game 1, Edmonton choked it. I should have won both bets. I think Edmonton is the better team. I think Vancouver is just also a very good team. And when you have two very good teams going at it, typically it gets split often. You'd like to think that the team that just choked is going to bounce back and have a good performance. That's what I think of Edmonton. I think the over is probably going to hit just because of how much offensive talent is on the ice and how shaky both goalies are. Like the over in this series should hit most games. If it's at 6, I'm going to play it. If it's at 6.5, I'll be a little more hesitant going forward. As you know, I played the alternate over last game of 5.5 just to be safe. Could have gone away with the 6.5, but I don't really like playing over 6 because hockey games can be weird like that. It's kind of the same thing where if you see like under 5.5 or over 6.5, you're like, that's not like a few weird bounces go your way or don't go your way. It can really determine that. So I love betting over 5.5. Under 6.5, or the 6 number I like a lot. I feel like the 6 number is where I feel safe if I feel like it's an over because you're guaranteed your money back if you fall short, but you also can get like, I just like the 6 number a lot. So I like playing over 6 because you do get that push. You don't need the 7th. Like last game it was 6.5. You needed that 7th. This one you don't need it. You get a little bit of insurance. So I feel a little more comfortable betting it tonight, actually. So Edmonton bounced back after a choke job over 6.5 because both teams can score. Those are my 3 plays. I got one combo wombo, and that is for over 4.5 alternate in Boston and Florida. Be surprised if this wasn't at least a 3-2 game. And then over 5.5 Oilers Canucks together for plus 120. I'm using one of my bonus bets from an NBA losing bet I did with the DraftKings promotion. I would probably play this normally regardless of just having this free bet. This is how I chose to use it. So over 4.5 alternate, over 5.5 alternate, and I think it should be a good night on Pat's Picks. Like I said, shorter video. Well, actually, it's not that short. It's 8 minutes. Just because I kept my picks simple. Didn't go with any real props. Keep it simple, stupid often is the way to go betting. I feel like the parlays have really cost me. I feel like I haven't really executed well on my picks with parlays. So when you're not doing good at something, sometimes it's better to just walk away than to keep losing money in a fruitless effort. So that's the video today. Hope you enjoy my picks. Hopefully you can tell me some of your picks in the comments. Create a little discussion down below. Hope to see you in the next episode. Hope your bets hit, and I hope you have a great night. Enjoy the hockey, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Pat's Picks. Have a great day.